Hello and welcome to 10 at 10. My name is Michael Ramage. I'm the director of the Cyber Education and Research Center here at Murray State University, and welcome back to 10 at 10. 10 at 10 is brought to you through a partnership between Sprocket, West Kentucky, KY Innovation, and Murray State University, and we are so happy to have you back for 10 at 10. This is episode 236, and as an even number episode, we are talking about the news of the last few weeks. What can we learn from the news that we see to help us stay safer, keep ourselves, our family, and our organizations a little bit safer in cyberspace? So let's just get into it. First article I want to talk about, let me pop the screen up. Our cyber attacks in general. Cyber attacks, this story comes out, and this came out earlier, I guess about a week ago, last Friday, and is an interview with a cybersecurity professional, Chris Parker. In this case, what his point is cyber attacks are evolving, so our response and the government response must as well. And let me dig into that concept a little bit more. When ransomware first started, it was about encrypting your files. You paying the ransom, they'll decrypt it. That worked great for the bad guy because people paid. In the years since then, cybersecurity professionals have been encouraging backups. So if you have backups, then it's not as critical that they decrypt your files because you have another copy of it. So the bad guys have had to evolve their attack, meaning now they steal your data, then they encrypt it. And then if you don't pay, not only will they not decrypt your files, but they also release your information online. So it's another step to their attack. All of our responses, both internally, within your organization, our government response, our planning, all of those things have to evolve as well. And that's the point of this article. And I think that I think it is very important for us in his comment, his first comment here is going from a passive defense to a proactive cyber resilience, not even active protections, but a resiliency that is something that we can dig into more in later episodes as well. But so that was the first story I wanted to highlight. I think that's really a very good point and something that I have shared, and that is worth talking about. Second, this came out last week as well. There is let me get the number right, a 790% increase in fake online stores. Let me say that again. 790% increase in the first quarter of 2025 compared to the same quarter last year. So why is that? There's a lot of theories for why that is. Tariffs, cyber criminals trying to exploit economic uncertainty. There could be a lot of different reasons for it. But the point is, they're doing it because it's effective. They're doing it because we're looking for the best deal. We're willing to not trust our instincts because the price is better. We're willing to do that. We always talk about that. Would you be willing to pay a little bit more for something made in America? We always like to say that, yeah, we would. But the reality is these fake stores are up so much because above and beyond anything else, we want a deal. And to be clear, just because something has a link in Amazon or an ad on Google doesn't mean it's a legitimate store. Do your homework before you put in your credit card number, your financial information. Do your homework. Make sure that what you think you're getting is truly what you're getting. It is happening more and more, and we're falling victim to it more and more. So we have to be very, very vigilant all the time. It's a reality of the world that we're in. And let me finish by saying, because I could talk about this issue all day, kind of relates to the scamming things that we've talked about over the last few weeks. Last thing that I'll say is that if the price is too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. We talked about the scam that was going around wanting your credit card information to pay your tolls. They didn't want your credit card information to pay your tolls. They don't care about the $7 fee that was fake. They care about getting your financial information so that they can charge hundreds and maybe thousands more on your card. So just keep that in mind. That's not going to go away anytime soon because it's being successful. Another piece. A Russia-linked group is spoofing European journalists to spread disinformation. Now, this is over in the European Union, but I'm sharing it because if it's going on there, it's going on here. And what happened here is, I think one of the claims was that, where is it? A French nuclear company was shipping radioactive waste to Armenia, donating to a fund to link to the prime minister. It's just there's a lot of things that are false narratives that are being pushed. And we love to be the one to link to stories. We love to broadcast it on social media. But the point of this is, before you start sharing information, make sure that you're sharing it from a legitimate service. There are too many times that I can post something and you take it as truth. What I really like it is when some people will post to links that come from the Onion website. The Onion website is fake news. It's satire. It is intentionally not true, but people still don't know that and will share stories from it like it's real. And they're not intended to be real, but man, it can spread like wildfire until you get to somebody that understands that the Onion is satire. These aren't intentionally satire. These are portraying themselves as real stories. And because we want to share and frankly want to pile on too much, it's often a problem and it can really cause some issues. So just be very vigilant about what you're reading and what you're sharing and what you're believing when you're online. Whether it's a deal like we just talked about or it's a story that lines up with your belief, you can't just accept it as true because it lines up with what you're wanting to see. All right. Last thing I'll talk about for today. Actually, I got two more stories, so maybe we'll have time to get to both. A few, I guess it's been months now. There was a breach called Salt Typhoon, where the Chinese government was able to breach our telecom networks, AT&T, Verizon. Some of those large organizations had data breaches, or not data breaches, breaches in their network so that foreign governments could monitor what was going on in their network. Well, fast forward now that has happened, the DoD said U.S. forces must now assume their networks are compromised, meaning that they're having to rebuild, they're having to replan, they're having to deal with how sensitive information is being collected, what sensitive information might have gotten out in this breach. It is really changing the way things are working. They believe that this could have happened from March of 24 until December of last year. So that's a 8-month time frame that this could have happened. The point of that for me is that if DoD is saying U.S. forces must now assume their networks are compromised, what does that say about our networks? We talk about zero trust, assume breach mentality, which is not necessarily a pleasant thing to think about, but it is maybe something that is necessary. All right, we're not going to get to the last story today. That's all right. I think these stories are interesting and things that can help us take some small incremental steps to better protect our organization and better protect our network. If you have any questions, if there's anything that I can do to help, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you next week back here on 10 at 10. Thank you.